G'day guys and welcome to Raging Rhino. It is time for the long-awaited Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 1. Now there's a couple of things that I do want to touch on really quickly. I'm probably going to do some separate videos on it, but one of the things is the fact that they've come out and said that Grogu was with Luke for 2 years. I definitely feel like they're using that as a justification for why Grogu can use the Force so willy-nilly. Now he was using it like that in the last season. However, they're going to advance more in regards to that, I definitely feel. Also, too, with Gina Carano and Cara Dune, the character of Cara Dune, there's a lot of talk about whether or not Gina was coming back, whether or not they're going to recast. I don't think we're going to see too much of her in this season. But again, we're just going to have to wait and see. So I'm not going to ramble on too much more. If you are new here, of course, you get to see my reactions from the episode as we go through. And then at the very end, you get to hear my review and my thoughts. Let's get into it.
May only be redeemed in the living waters beneath them.
So we're going to see him go and take a bath on Mandalore. So he can still be a Mandalorian. So we're starting with the blacksmith, eh? Why do they make every helmet make that sound?
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is so gay.
Young one, to the gate! To the sky!
I'm sorry, but that was lame. Oh my god.
You have removed your helmet. What's worse, you did so of your own free will.
You know why we need this dialogue? Because the people that didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett haven't heard her say any of this stuff yet.
This is the way.
Go on, take a bath, Mando. How long is this trip going to take you? Teleport there, or are we going to take like a few weeks to get there? Don't tell me that's a hyperspace whale. It is. What, there's a way for him to get from there down into there? So instead of going straight to Mandalore,
Welcome to Navarro. Independent.
A lot has changed around here.
Not since you were there last.
Get out of here, Thane. Now.
Sure you want to let him go?
No, no.
Bunch of Babu fricks.
He says the memory circuit is shot.
Well, put in a new one.
What, Mando can't understand that?
If you can get a new part, he says he can fix it.
No, Grogu.
Fucking
Not a pet.
No, let's go.
No, Grogu.
Is that supposed to be funny?
Tuck where you are, Mandalorian. You're outgunned.
I have no
This
quarrel
makes me
with you,
think
Gorian
of
Shard.
From a man
Galaxy
who just
Quest.
destroyed.
Mandalorian system.
Teleport there. How does he get from here? Oh my god, there's so many questions. How did Grogu get from inside the bubble of the thing to inside this bubble? Just like that. Whoa, there's a lot to fucking break down in that episode. Obviously, it starts with the Creed basically bringing a new kid into their order, even though all these Mandalorians just appear out of nowhere. The cult of Mandalore, or the cult of Mandalorians, have rebuilt. I don't know what happened after season 1, and they all just left their armor. And this guy, the big guy's just come back. Then we get the battle with the dinosaur. Mando shows up. She says, you know, you left, you took your helmet off, you're not a Mandalorian. He's got to find out whether or not the planet is toxic, so he goes to Navarro. He wants to get IG-11 back so that he can use him to obviously see if the surface of Mandalore is toxic or poisoned or whatever. Grogu just uses the Force willy-nilly, so I don't doubt that being that he's using it just for selfish reasons, he's probably just going to end up turning out to be a dark side user in the end, which is what Ahsoka Tano wanted to stop from happening. Oh, there was also the bit where Grogu goes from the little bubble in the ship to in Din Djarin's lap while they're going through hyperspace. There was also the whales, the hyperspace whales that you see. So there's him going from literally, there's the hyperspace whales. So obviously they're going to bring in some stuff from Rebels, I reckon. That's where that Easter egg lies. Like I said, Grogu went from being inside the bubble up here to being in Mando's lap all of a sudden. Must have crawled underneath and through the center of the ship, maybe through the engine and out through his legs, up under the seat and then into his lap, conveniently enough. So yeah, he goes to Navarro, speaks to Greef Karga. Obviously, there's that clip that we saw. Some pirates show up and they want to drink in the bar that's now a school. There's obviously a bit of a standoff that happens and Greef Karga defeats him and then takes down all his mates and he runs away and lets him go. Mando, like I said, he wants IG-11 to figure out whether or not the planet of the surface of Mandalore is still poisoned or whatever, and he uses his remaining parts. Again, it's kind of like the Death Star, you know, self-destruct, exploding, and apparently they found some parts of IG-11 that they can now use to bring him back to life or something. So they try and bring him back to life, and he's still got his old programming where he goes to kill Grogu. It's definitely very, like, comedic in the sense that it's Marvel-y, right? Like Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU. They then go and see all the Babu Fricks to see if they can repair him, and they're like, no, we can't repair him. But Greef Karga keeps translating everything, even though we can understand him, and Mando even says, like, I got it. I can sort of understand what he's saying, after originally he was like, what are you saying? And Greef Karga keeps translating. Anyway, so he's got to go and find a part so that he can fix IG-11. So he goes to Mandalore, or I don't know. Oh, before that happens, of course, the pirates show up, that they shot up, and they try and stop Mando. And this scene definitely felt like, I said while I was going through it, it really did feel like Galaxy Quest. With the bad guy, the main bad guy. This is like the guy that's on this ship. And they've got weapons locked. This guy here. Fucking so ridiculously funny. Mando goes, I don't know. I can't remember where he said. Let me see if I can just quickly play this bit.
It's another planet in the Mandalorian system.
Okay, so it's just another planet in the Mandalorian system where Bo-Katan is. This was another thing too. Like I said, so Grogu was in the little pod. You see him in the pod here, right? Now, in the time that Mando steps out, he's no longer in the pod and he just magically appears in his little egg thing. Watch this. So he's there. He crawls down. Mando steps out and he's in his pod. So, and it looks like it comes up. So he must be able to crawl down into his pod and it comes up. But he can also crawl down and end up in the cockpit. Like, it's just conveniences just for the sake of moving the plot forward. It's not like Mando has to pick him up and take him out and put him in the pod or anything like that. They just automate everything. He then goes and speaks to Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan speaks some jargon about how all her troops left her because she doesn't have the Darksaber. And she asks Din Djarin, do you still have the Darksaber? He says, I've still got the Darksaber. And he's like, I want to go to Mandalore and I'm going to find out whether or not the surface is poisoned. And I'm going to go and take a bath in Mandalore so I can be forgiven for my transgressions. Like I said, Bo-Katan's like, you're a fool. And that's the end of the episode. I'm sorry. But if anybody was seal clapping throughout that, good for you. The opening scene was ridiculous with all the Mandalorians fighting that dinosaur. Why didn't they... Like, what are they going to do? If Mando hadn't have shown up and been able to use his ship to blow the thing to pieces, what were they going to do? They kept shooting at it for like 10 minutes and nothing was happening. Run into the cave. It clearly can't move any more forward out of the water. It was just... I'm sorry. For the first episode of Season 3, that was lame. That was just lame. And I know I'm going to be the one ridiculed. I'm going to be the one that's like, oh, Ronald, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just not mature enough to understand. I understand enough to think that this episode was just full of conveniences. Hyperspace, again, was teleportation. When he went from Navarro to that other Mandalorian planet where Bo-Katan was, he was just there. He was just there, just appears out of nowhere. The trip from this planet, where all the Mandalorians are, to Navarro, there was a little bit of time throughout hyperspace, but the only reason why we saw that was so that they could show the hyperspace whales, or the shadows of the hyperspace whales. If they didn't have to show that, he would have teleported there. How long does it take to go from one end of the galaxy to the other? In Disneyverse, in the Mandoverse, no time whatsoever. And I have no doubt that nobody else that's watching this is going to care about that. And why not? Because that is actual lore. It is actual canon that these things should be taking time. These things should be taking place. Mando went in one episode that goes for literally like half an hour. We've got, 5 minutes of credits at the end, and there's obviously like, recap. It's like a 30-minute episode. In 30 minutes, Mando went to 3 different planets. He had a fight with a dinosaur. He had a fight with some pirates. And that's it. That's it. Trying to establish these pirates as the bad guys that are now going to go after Mando because there's no more tracking fobs to detect him. Why don't they just do that? Why don't these pirates just get some tracking fobs and track Mando being a bounty now, or track Grogu the way they were tracking him before? Because tracking fobs are a stupid fucking invention that Disney came up with. I'm sorry, this episode was lame as shit. For a highly anticipated series and a highly anticipated episode, and there are people that are going to seal clap their way through this. I can already see it. Because it was action-packed. Oh, Grogu was using the Force to spin his chair around. He was using the Force to grab some food. Oh, he was hugging the Babu Frick character. Oh, how cute. Don't do that, Grogu. Don't do that. Grief, can you translate something I can understand? This is a joke. This is a joke. This isn't Star Wars. This is a fucking joke. My God. Oh my God. People are going to go, Rhino, why do you care so much? Can't you just let us enjoy it? Fucking enjoy it. If you enjoy it, good for fucking you. This ain't Star Wars. This is shit. This is shit that's labeled Star Wars. Wow. Wow. That's it. That's the episode. That's all I've got to say about the episode. Let me know. I know that there's going to be more people that watch this than watched Andor. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode in the comments below. Let me know how you feel about my reactions to it all, because in all honesty, it is just a fucking joke. It's stupid, and it does feel very MCU-y with the funniness and the stupid things. Oh man, I don't even know anymore. I don't even know anymore. I just whatever. This whole season, if it's going to be anything like this opening episode, is going to be absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. And the SEALs will continue to clap their way through it because it's Star Wars. And there was also something I missed. There was also one other thing that they mentioned. They did talk about Cara Dune. And Greef Karga obviously wants to recruit Mando as his marshal, or as his, sheriff of his new town, Navarro. And I do find it funny that Mando shows up there and he's like, oh, gee, I love what you've done with the place. But he's already seen the place like this. Yes, it might have been built up a little bit more than what it was when he went back there when Grogu was in the school. But haven't we already got to this point where he already sees what Navarro is becoming? Anyway, like I was saying, they do mention Cara Dune, and apparently Cara Dune took Moff Gideon to the New Republic, promoted her to something, I can't exactly remember, and Moff Gideon's been taken to some prison or something, somewhere with the New Republic. And Greef Karga wants nothing to do with the New Republic, because Din Djarin's like, oh, why don't you just get a New Republic soldier to be your marshal? I honestly thought that Gina Carano or Cara Dune was his marshal. But no, she gets promoted so that they can just ride her out. They just explain it off with one quick line, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, like I said, that's my thoughts on the episode. I honestly don't even know what to say. It's just, that was bad. That was just bad. And I know I'm going to be the one to cop it. It's not that bad, Ryan. What the fuck are you talking about, you idiot? Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of this episode as a Season 3 starter. Like, this is what we get for an opening to Season 3. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week for Episode 2. Fucking hell, my God.